Welcome, Transformer fans. My name is Composite Enerjoe, and today I'll be bringing you my review of the Transformers Cyberverse Power of the Spark Battle Class Jetfire and his Spark Armor Tank Cannon. The most straightforward name I've encountered for these things. But yeah, Tank Cannon, the Spark Armor, which I'm just going to put off to the side. And here he is, Jetfire. Battle Class Jetfire / this is basically a what we would count it as like an old school scout class or legends class. So here he is, and this is a very nice looking jet mode. I like that they were able to incorporate his massive lasers from his jet mode. That's like a more, I guess, traditional or more recent addition to Jetfire, but yeah, very cool. Very nicely done. It's not the best, obviously, because you can see his hands. In fact, this kind of reminds me of, oh, what was his name? Like, this setup kind of reminds me of Silverbolt a little bit. How it's just the arms are there, and it just, yeah, that's just what it reminds me of a little bit. So yeah, here he is, and I think it's pretty cool. He doesn't have articulation, obviously, but what he does have, he has a little landing gear, which is right there. And there you go. And unfortunately, these back ones do not move, which is a shame. Even though I don't think the landing gear really does that much. Yeah, it doesn't really affect anything, but nice detail that they put it in there. So now let's get on with transformation, which is pretty straightforward. Pop out these hands. Pop out the hands. Then you come down here and you fold out the legs. Then you separate. Make sure you push this in. Then you fold out his feet. Let me raise this up a little bit. And then for this part, you bring this down, you snap this off, bring this down, and this will peg into here. And then you rotate these pieces all the way around, and then you'll feel like a soft click when it gets into place. There, soft click, straighten out the arms, and here we have Jetfire in his robot mode. And this is a very nice looking robot mode. It's basically a miniature version of like the more recent, more modern take of Jetfire, which is very cool. Articulation-wise, his head doesn't move. The arms are on ball joints with a bend at the elbow. Legs are on ball joints with a bend at the knee. And that's it. So yeah, he has like pretty standard articulation, which is nice. It's one of those good enough kind of things for me, especially for like the, you know, the toy line and the class size. It's like, it's good enough. So now that we got Jetfire out of the way, not to say that he's not worth getting, let me just do some size comparisons. So Legion, Deluxe, and what is essentially a Scout class / Legends class. So there you go. Up to the side. And then a bonus size comparison. Here we have his Wavemate, Skybite. And you can see they're pretty much the same. They're essentially the same size. I think because of his crest, he's a little bit taller. But yeah, there's a Skybite, which is a sort of glimpse of things to come. So yeah, so let's get on to the main event of this figure, which is the Spark Armor. So we take this apart, like so, into these 4 pieces. And we just put it on. Again, you can pretty much plug this in any which way. I'm going to show you one version that I like, which was like this. Like, this isn't the one that's in the instructions, but this is the one that I like. So you put the treads on his back to have little cannons on his back. You plug this in onto his arm, like so. And then you do this part, which is you fold this down, plug it in here. Then you bring this down, fold this, and peg this into here. Then fold this back. And here we have, and at least my version of Jetfire with his Tank Cannon Spark Armor. With his Spark Armor. And it looks very cool. It's not bad. I kind of wish the tank was a different color. I think this tan doesn't like mesh that well with Jetfire's white and red. But it's still very cool. And then, I guess for another size comparison, he does get a tiny bit bulkier, but it's not that big. It's not that big of a difference, as you can see. So yeah, that's Jetfire. And since I brought Skybite here, I'm actually going to show you how this looks on this figure. Because the spark armors for the battle class spark armors are compatible with all of the other battle class figures. So let me pop this off and show you what this looks like on Skybite. As you can see, it's definitely compatible. Put it there. Put it there. Come on. And then he holds it. Or better yet, let's make this a little different. Let me put it there as like a crest. You can point forward, and you can obviously... Oh, you can't actually peg that in there. Huh, thought you could. Yeah, and here is Skybite with the tank cannon armor. And speaking of which, let me bring in a driller drive here. Take it apart. Oh. Take it apart. And let's see how this thing looks like on Jetfire. So, like that. Like that. And this thing... Still gonna do it like this because I feel that this, I like this whole extra bulk to the wings. And then will it work? Because on Skybite you can kind of put this in his hand, like as the fist. No, you cannot. So I'm just gonna put this on his arm. And here is Jetfire with the driller drive, and here they are next to each other. Again, I think the original combination was to have these things be on his arm, and he just holds the gun for this one. So it's similar to this. But here's sort of my versions, and this shows off a little bit of the customizability of it. And not bad, huh? So yeah, the armors are all, and I can imagine you can even take the one, like another spark armor, and just keep, you know, adding on to one figure. So yeah, there you go. So let me take this apart. Whoops. And put it back onto Jetfire, since that's his armor. Let's get a driller drive out of here. I'll go fix him up later. There we go, and there we go. So yeah, that shows off how compatible that these things are indeed compatible with each other. So yeah, overall, this is a very neat figure. Like, I'm really digging these spark armor figures. And honestly, I do consider them a great improvement to the original Cyberverse figures. Like, these are just really, really cool. So yeah, solid figure. Overall, I do like the Jetfire, and I also recommend the Skybite too. So that, you know, you can mix and match the armor pieces. I think it would actually be a pretty good idea if the Spark armors, they sold in like individual packs. Like, I would say maybe a 2 to 3 packs for maybe around Legion class price. Like, you buy 2, like 3 like Spark armors by themselves, and you just sort of start customizing. I think that'd be a pretty neat idea. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers Cyberverse Battle Class Jetfire with his Spark Armor Tank Cannon. The Power of the Spark Cyberverse Battle Class Jetfire with his Spark Armor Tank Cannon. Still a mouthful. And this is Composite Enerjoe signing off. Peace out.